know, he'd been a cuckold for years.
Putting a chair in front of my door when I go to sleep, but that's an extra defense.
Are you still in the adult industry? Or?
I'm...
I was going to say.
No,
I'll tell you what, if she said monkey, we're going to go find her right now.
Right.
You're going to say, listen.
No, she said ape.
I don't think so.
Bed with itchy hiney, wake up with stinky fingers.
I was in the gym non-stop.
You're buff.
I was.
All 140 pounds of you.
Yeah.
No.
Give
me some meds.
Recorded at Grim Reaper Studios, located at the base of the beautiful Blue Mountains, it's Sonoman's Sideshow. And I'm your host, Les the Snowman Kannier. All right, tonight, it's been a rough weekend. We had, in sports, SUGA Sean, he lost. He got wrestled too damn much, I guess. Wasn't a very good fight. So kind of disappointed with that, but that's okay. It's going to happen no matter who, everybody is going to get a loss. So it is what it is, but he'll be back. That'll be fun to watch what's next for him. Pork Chop was going to join me this evening to help me with the strange news, but he is unable to join me at the moment. He's going to try to pop on here in a few minutes, and then after that, going to have Kevin Kannier on the show. Yes, that's right, Kevin Kannier, mi father. And so that should be interesting. I'm just going to do a little quick interview with him and see what's new in his world. We touched on sports a little bit, just the UFC. I know we got a lot of football going down now. Chargers played today, but I did not watch it. I don't even know, it could be on this evening. I'm not sure. And then, there goes the neighbor's weed eater, that's a weed eater. Okay, sorry about that. But, it's been crazy around here too. In my little town, we have what's called the Roundup. Every September, they have the thing called the Pendleton Roundup, and this little town swells from, 17,000 to 70,000 or something. It's ridiculous what it does, and which is fine, but we live like in a hole, kind of. I mean, Pendleton is in like a river basin, creek basin with all these little canyons shooting off out from them, and so everything's on a hill pretty much. It makes getting around very difficult. Anyways, all right. Let's go ahead and hop into the strange news. Like I said, if Pork Chop shows up, we'll bring him in. If not, no big deal, and we'll talk with K-Dog here shortly. All right, so easy to find the weird news. I mean, okay, so this one's out of I got the story from NBC Philadelphia 10. This is about he betrayed me. Bucks County man accused of beheading father speaks out at court. Justin Moan of Levittown spoke to NBC 10 after he was ordered to be held for trial on murder charges after he allegedly killed and decapitated his father. Then he held the dead man's head in a video online. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but I didn't see the actual video. But I read further in the article, he basically says he's a patriot, and it was all political for him. His dad wasn't being a patriot in the country, and he had something going on with the National Guard. This guy did. He kept writing to them and telling them they too were not doing what they were supposed to at the local National Guard base there. So obviously, dude had some mental health issues, but not a big deal. He just beheaded his father and then put it on YouTube. So, strange news. Okay, let's see here. Let's go back to. You guys probably saw this. This is the story I'm putting up is off of MSNBC. John Bon Jovi praised for saving a woman's life in Nashville. So I don't know if you guys saw that, where he, the video shows, apparently he was on this. It's a big footbridge. So when they say footbridge, it's the size of a 2-car lane or so with sidewalks, and just shows him and somebody else that he's with kind of walking over to this lady that's standing over the edge there. And I don't know, I guess apparently she was having a crisis, and he talked her down from it and had her get over the deal. So that's kind of cool, living on a prayer, right? Bon Jovi. What else we got here? Let's see. Yeah, let's do this one. This is from TMZ. And hopefully, I hope you haven't seen this one, but it's called The Cucumber Man, a vulgar veggie video. Cops hunt suspect. So I don't know if anybody's seen this on their deal, but in the police report obtained by TMZ, cops say the homeowner called to report the incident around 5:30 p.m. last night, telling cops the guy stuck a cucumber in the grill of her car and used the vegetable to perform sexual acts on himself. Cops say the suspect also performed lewd and obscene acts on the cucumber at the back of the car before leaving the scene. So, he's getting his vegetables, we know that, but his the video, when you watch the video, I mean, the dude, he's just, they blur out exactly, but I mean, he's just milling around. It's like somebody's home security camera, and he's just kind of milling around out in the street there and in the driveway, kind of. It's like a in the city, inner city type neighborhood, and he's having a cigarette. Everything's just normal. And then he pulls out a cucumber and just does strange things to it. So, yeah, again, strange news. Bizarre. Okay, let's finish up with this. Okay. I mean, this isn't funny, but it just reads funny to me. But how about this? This is from, oh man, who did I get this from? Oh, the New York Post. Crazed river otter nearly drowns child after dragging them underwater at marina. So, this couple, I'll just read what I can here. A young Washington State child narrowly survived being dragged underwater by a crazed river otter, which also attacked the kid's horrified mom during a morning walk. The youngster with their mother on a dock at the Bremerton Marina in Kitsap County Thursday morning when the otter pounced, according to the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. The animal managed to pull the child underwater, and then when the child briefly resurfaced, the mother was able to lift him back onto the dock, but the otter continued to attack. The mother sustained, she got a bite on her arm, and then the child had scratches and a bite on the top of his head. So, minor injuries. I'm trying to see what happened. I don't know if they caught him or what, but anyways, my guess is she probably had some babies right there or something and felt threatened or whatever, because that's typically the case. But still, an otter. It makes me think of remember Jeff Foxworthy, and he had that piece about you might be a redneck, but he was talking about roadkill, and they picked it up, and they thought it was a dead beaver, and it bit his nipple. He's like, "This beaver bit my nipple." Anyway, all right. Okay, well, Pork Chop is out of service, so we will cut over to Kevin Kannier. Kevin Kannier, as I stated before, is also my father, and he has been an educator for 30 plus years, and yeah, we'll see what's new. So let's get him on the horn. All right. Please welcome to the show. And let me add, I had a bit of, we've had some technical difficulties, so we're just going to go with it what we can. So we tried to do this via Zoom, but we can't get this microphone to work. So we're using the Zoom audio or video and the cell phone audio. So we'll see how well this works out. So please welcome to the show, longtime listener, first-time guest, the highly esteemed Kevin Cover Kannier, also known as my father. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great. So how was your day? You got to watch yesterday you got to watch a Civil War game, and the Ducks put a stomping on them. I saw that.
Yeah, they did.
I thought it was going to be close at first, but
It kind of looked that way, but
yeah.
then all of a sudden, explosion.
Yeah, well, that's how it works. But
Mhm.
and then of course, we had the fight last night. SUGA Sean era is slightly on pause for the moment, and hopefully we can get him back in the ring. And Blake said he had a real good time though, and they just got home, so yeah, back to the gym and back to the next one.
Yeah, that seemed a little bit off to me last night when I was watching that. Even the two gals before them that were the co-main events, something just seemed to be off. And then when I was reading the reviews this morning, Sean said on his X account or whatever, he said, "Hey, over-promised,
delivered."
Yep. And I thought that was just perfect.
Yeah.
Because, he's got to get the fire back.
He does. And he knows what work he needs to be done, but that stuff's fun. I like watching that stuff. So, but,
good.
So let's touch on, you real quick here. You've been an educator. You're retired, but you were an educator for over 30 years. Like how 40?
45.
45?
45 years.
Good Lord. So is it safe? And I think when we were down at your place here recently, because you live in Portland area, so we were talking out back on the patio, everybody, and I was telling them, and I thought, it probably sounded like a real Debbie Downer when I said it, but I just meant it like I've never, yet anyways, ever had a job that I loved. And not that that's a bad thing, but when I do know people that love their job, I always think to myself, how cool that is. You obviously loved your job to do it that long.
Well, everybody's job, no matter where you are, where you work, what you've done in that career area, there's always going to be pros and cons. Right. I think for me, it wasn't that I loved the job. I loved the kids, and I loved the staff, and all the heart that they had doing what they were doing, and that's what kept me going. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's impressive. 45 years. I can remember when I first started working for the state. And it was at a healthcare place, and I remember the night shift guy came in, and old Ray Fager was his name, and Ray had worked there for 38 years. I think it was 38 years, and I remember thinking to myself, then, 38 years you've been doing this. Wow. Sadly, he retired, and a couple months later, I think he ended up in a nursing home and passed away. So he didn't even get to spend his retirement. So,
that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you've been retired already for a while, and you've had a chance to. So, and we got lots of traveling to do, so you can't go anywhere. So, but now going forward, of course, I talk all the time about playing music and loving music and stuff. And I obviously got that, both sides of my family genetically. So, but yeah, you started playing music in your teens, piano, drumming, all that, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, my mother made me start taking piano lessons when I was in the second grade. So I took piano lessons from these teachers all the way through my senior year in high school. And a lot of it, I really enjoyed, and a lot of it I did not, because I had to practice and get browbeat and play concerts and stuff. But anyway, I did. I loved music, and then at some point, after doing the teenage garage band thing, I switched from piano to drums, and then went on and played a little bit, made a little bit of a living when I was married to your mom. But that was back in the days when they had clubs that had live music 5-6 nights a week, and so you could make a pretty good chunk of change.
Yeah. They didn't have a DJ that could just pop in and bring all the equipment, and
No.
Nowadays it's like, but I'm surprised the live band music scene is still alive. I mean, it's just, you're not going to make, unless you're really good, you're not going to make a ton of money at it, but you can still get bands and stuff, but it just doesn't pay much. But
in fact, we went. Remember, we went to have lunch at the place in Pendleton where I played and where you played, and we went up on the stage together, and I took a picture of us.
That's right.
That was really. That was very cool.
That was cool. So there's a little place here in Pendleton it's called Max now, and it's a sports bar, and he refurbished the whole building, and it's a unique little building, and he did a great job, and it's really a cool place. Good food, good beer. But yeah, I took my dad there because I had played music there during my journey, and so had he. That's clear back before I was born. So. That's pretty wild that we both were in this, played music in the same little podunk bar in the middle of nowhere, So, moving on from music, a highly educated man like yourself, how does one delve into getting interested into Sasquatch? Now, we've talked about Sasquatch on the show a few times, and, it's always a great topic, but I know that's a big passion of yours, and I'm just curious how you got started in that.
Well, I think it has to do with just being a reader. So I would read a lot of stuff, and actually, I'll tell you how I got started in the Sasquatch thing. Was I had a teacher who was a science teacher, and she gave me a book by David Paulides that was his first missing 411, and I loved it. So I went to David Paulides, and I looked, and I saw that he had done a couple of research things on Sasquatch. And so I read the Hoopa Project and Tribal Bigfoot by Paulides, and those just got me really fired up. But, really, I think for me, it really comes down to being able to keep an open mind and recognize that there are things that exist and things that we maybe can see and can't see, and hear and can't hear. Like we can't hear what dogs hear, and we can't see what dogs see.
Right.
But so we're limited. So that doesn't mean that everything that we know is real.
Right.
Okay. There's other stuff out there.
Right.
And
yeah. I'm totally with you on that. And honestly, I never really even thought about Squatch. I mean, I did when I was a kid. I remember the film, the Patterson Gimlin film. Mm-hmm. We all saw, everybody's seen that, and to be honest, most of my young adulthood, I always thought that film was fake and, whatever. I just didn't believe in it. And growing up most of my time here in Eastern Oregon, and being in the woods a lot too, I just never seen it. But what changed it for me was, and I'm just saying I'm open-minded to it. That's all I'm saying. And honestly, it's kind of a fun thing too. It's not, it's in a world full of a lot of negativity. It's kind of a fun, positive thing, So But I have trouble sleeping, and so I listen to podcasts, and I started listening to podcasts about Sasquatch, and then 900 stories later, you start thinking, wait a minute, could all these people be lying, about what they saw? Now, I'm not saying it was what it was. I'm just saying, and that's what changed it for me. That's when I was like, okay, like you said, there probably is something out there more than what I know about or understand or whatever, paranormal, whatever you want to call it. So, but yeah, it's a fun hobby. I like it. And, I don't know that I would want to see one really, or if I do, it better be at a hell of a distance. I'm talking through binoculars way away. That's about as close as I want to get.
Oh, hell, you went on a Sasquatch cruise, man. What can you say?
I did. And I actually, me and Big Ern ran around up here in the Blues and tried to call them in, but I think they were just watching and laughing at us because I had had too many beers and was walking around the woods. But yeah. So, all right. Well, what's on the horizon for you? You got any cool vacations planned? I know the answer to this, but.
Yep, I got one coming up real soon here in a couple of weeks with you and your lovely wife, Wendy. We're going to Scottsdale.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully we're going to see the BK Sano down there.
That's right.
And maybe make a run up to Sedona, which
is a hot spot for...
Yeah, we can get into the vortex and, some electromagnetic energy kind of stuff. And
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's I mean, it's beautiful down there, but Sedona area, from what I've seen online, whoa, gorgeous. Yeah. And it's kind of artsy, kind of an art hub up there, isn't it?
Yeah. And Chris even said to me the other day, she said, hey, if we go up, when we're up in Sedona, if we decide we think it's really a cool place, let's just stay there for a couple of nights, and then we'll go back to Scottsdale.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
why not?
I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be cool. Find some cool pieces of art or something there. I always like getting that and getting something, a keepsake from the trip. But so and we ordered. Wendy ordered the you and I SUGA Sean shirts, and I didn't think I was going to get mine, but it did show up.
You did get it.
I did get it just in the nick of time. So just want to say, though, that's probably what gave Sean bad luck, is that the stress from me waiting to get that new T-shirt. But, anyway, so. All right, now how you feeling lately? I understand you probably got COVID for the 20th time like me here recently.
No. I had a 24-hour flu. Early in the week. Yeah. But, shit, I'm old. So, I get sick sometimes, and I don't know if it's because I'm sick from a virus or I'm drinking too much whiskey or what it is. But, and then I bounce back and I'm okay.
Yeah. That's funny. I do the same thing. But I mean, speaking of whiskey, I've stayed home all week because it's Roundup. And and so little Pendleton, and I don't know if these numbers are exactly right, but it goes from like 17,000 to 70,000, which is fine if it was flat, but we're in hills, and it's just, we're cramped here at the base of the Blues, and I haven't hardly had to leave the house. I left one time. And Wendy asked me, my wife asked me if I would give our daughter a ride because she couldn't get around downtown where she lives. So I thought, sure. And I went down and I drove through that. And I'm telling you, I was in a panic attack the whole way through. And I wonder, does that happen like the older we get too? We're not as, we stress out easier when it comes to driving and stuff. Because I used to drive Portland all over the place, but man, I went down there, I came home, I had to go sit out back and relax for a while. It was just, because, they line the streets with people and vendors, and you're hoping nobody walks out in front of you, and hit them. And so, but anyways, they're all gone. Everybody left this morning. And so, we're happy about that. But
they have a good band play there this year.
Who did they have? I can't remember who it was. obviously it was a country act, but we also have we have another festival called the Whiskey Festival, or
That's where, is that the one that Maroon 5 played
yeah,
at? The
Whiskey
Festival?
Fest, Whiskey Fest.
Yeah.
And then that one, they get in like big names. It could be anybody. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, the town gets big, but nothing like it does during this stage. So, but how's the weather been down there?
What's that?
How's the weather been down there?
Kind of off and on. It's kind of rained like hell every now and then, and then it's really nice. So
yeah, it's about to rain like hell here shortly, but
mm-hmm.
but now, I know one thing I was going to add. Now, did you say, speaking of the paranormal, did you just kind of, get your feet wet or talk about it or sign up for the MUFON investigator stuff?
I haven't done the field investigator thing. I'm a member of MUFON,
right?
But I, when it comes to, I have to tell you, there's been some really strange stuff that has happened in this house, in this area. We had it was really, really odd. One night I went to bed about 10. We were watching TV, and I went upstairs and I went to bed, and I was reading, and all of a sudden there was just this big bam on the house. And it shook the whole house. And so I went downstairs to see if everything was okay. And of course, Chris was freaked out. And, what was that? And I said, I don't know. And I grabbed the flashlight and I went outside and I looked all around. Nothing. And then we had the same thing happen a few days later during the day. Yeah. it was daylight. We were sitting in the living room and just wham, something on the house. And I don't know what that was. When you guys were down here, she talked about the fact that she has a hard time sleeping, so she gets up in the middle of the night and looks out the windows and stuff. And
that's
she
right.
saw one time those two great big giant coyotes. She said they were bigger than she thought coyotes could be. And then another time that huge thing walked down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That she thought
that was when we were there.
Yeah, that was probably a dog man. But,
yeah.
The thing is, you'd think in this area, that kind of stuff wouldn't happen. But you've been here, and you and Wendy walked all around, and there's a whole bunch of wilderness area right around here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the thing. Portland and the metropolitan area is in the woods. Yeah. Essentially.
Those things from wherever they're coming from, they can move around without being seen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and how about this? Speaking of high strangeness, I've got a couple minutes left here before I gotta wrap it up. But high strangeness. You a plane crashed into possibly, or if not your old house, very close to your house. There in Fairview, where you used to live recently, correct?
Confirmed.
Are you shitting me?
No, I read it in the newspaper. The house that Chris and I lived in right before we got divorced, the condo.
Yep.
Yes, that's the condo that the plane crashed into and killed the lady that was there.
Holy, that is incredible. That's an incredible story. I mean, whoa. And like I said, inside joke, you're a hero in a strange roundabout way. You, in a way, you saved everyone's life, in the family. So, but no, that's terrible that a lady died. But man, that's gotta feel weird. The thought of a plane hitting your old house. What are the odds of that? Well, listen, thank you for coming on tonight. Sorry it was so confusing and weird, and we'll have you on again and touch base on some more high strangeness. But I appreciate it. And have a good night. Monday's tomorrow. You probably don't know that, but tomorrow's Monday. When you're retired.
You don't care.
Yeah. So back to the grind. But yeah. All right. Well, have a good evening. Thank you. Love you. Take care.
Okay, there. Love you, bud.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was awesome. That was awesome. We got through it. I don't know how people do this like on a regular basis for like a living, because there's just too many moving parts, and you got to schedule people, and it's just weird. That's why I do it for fun. Not a big deal. Oh wait, Pork Chop says he's ready to get on. I guess we'll touch base with him before we wrap this thing up. Oh well. And now I can't because Zoom's converting. Well, we'll leave it at that. Hey, listen, thank you guys for joining me this evening. Sorry that it's been a mess and Pork Chop couldn't show up. And hopefully, there's some funny stuff there in my interview with K-Dog. Want to thank my sponsors. I guess I should get that already. Want to thank my sponsors: Bill Murphy Roofing, Wandering Wizard Concepts, Vertical Jigs and Lures, Liberty Detection Services, DCL Photography, The Shop, DieselFuelFilterKits.com, RidgeTop TV, SouthPacInk, and the JON P. Salter Foundation. Until then, keep your nose clean if it takes both sleeves. See you later.